Hola, hola a todos. Today is Halloween, and today we are continuing to work on vocabulary for the like he, she, third person. Talking about friends, family, uh, wife, husband, brother, sister, son, daughter, etc. And talking about those people and asking about their likes, interests, where they're from, how old they are, if they're married or their children. So last week we were talking about things like in the first person perspective, like my brother, my sister. And so we're going to look at the form for like you if you're talking to your language exchange partner. So let me just get my screen share here. So this is vocabulary that we looked at from last time, but we're going to adapt it a little bit for talking about like talking with a partner. So I would change this mi marido, mi esposa to tu, tu. So tu marido, tu esposa, tu hijo, tu hija, tu hermano, tu hermana, tu novia, tu novia, tu padre, tu madre, tu amigo, tu amiga. So it's just very simple here in the Spanish, just change all these mi to tu. And I would use maybe a statement like este es tu hermano. Like if I were asking a question, like este es tu hermano. Or if I were using like a possessive kind of question, like este es tu hermano. So intonation can really slightly change the meaning here of a question if you're emphasizing the word hermano, brother, or if you're emphasizing the word tu for the possessive, you could kind of emphasize which word in that sentence you were wanting to specify. So is it your brother or is this your brother? So just be sensitive to that in a question to hear the difference. And if I were asking a question, maybe looking at a picture here, and maybe there are multiple people in that picture, I could ask maybe like ¿Quién es? Like who is this? So ¿Quién? That's Q-U-I-E-N. Es. ¿Quién es? And then maybe I could maybe suppose like, is this your brother? Like, is this your sister? ¿Quién es? ¿Es tu hermano? ¿Es tu hermana? So I'm using tu for these instead of me. And then maybe the person could be saying like, ah, sí, este es mi hermano. Like, yes, this is my brother. Asking what my brother or my sister like to do, I could use instead of the él, I would use tu hermano. A tu hermano le gusta, or I could ask a question, ¿qué? Like, like, ¿qué le gusta hacer a tu hermano? So I would use the él, I would switch that to tu hermano. And realize that in Spanish, this it's what's called like a personal It's used when the object of a verb is a person. Because in this example here with the verb to like in Spanish, gustar, the person who likes something is actually an object and not the subject. The subject is the thing that pleases somebody. It's a different structure from English, but it is like other reading. I mean, it's a bit that way, but that's kind of what the construction is based on. So in that case, we need this this personal whereas if I used a different verb like to live or to speak, those wouldn't use these structures on there. So if I would just ask a question here, like, what does your brother like to do? ¿Qué le gusta a tu hermano? And I could answer like, a mi hermano, or I could like restate this, a tu hermano le gusta leer, a tu hermana, so she loves to travel. And on here, I could ask maybe about my father, my mother, where they're from, where they live, or where my language exchange partners, mother and father, are from. So, ¿de dónde es tu padre? ¿De dónde es tu padre? Or ¿de dónde es tu mamá? Or ¿de dónde es tu madre? So we have papa, mama, and madre as well. And I could say, in my example, okay, mi padre es de Nueva York, pero, so pero is P-E-R-O, pero vive en California. In Mexican Spanish, here this V, like B, like V, like in Victor, or B, like in boy, are pronounced the same. The V in Mexican Spanish is pronounced like a B from boy. So, and to distinguish when you have to spell, Mexicans usually say like B grande, like big B is the B in boy, and B chica is the V in Victor. So this is, if I spelled this in Spanish, I'd say B chica y B chica E. So that's Bibe, and it sounds like B, like boy. So él vive en California. So mi papá vive en California, or mi padre vive en California. Mi madre es de Ohio, or mi madre viene de Ohio. Ella vive en California. So my mother is from Ohio, but P-E-R-O, she lives in California. I could ask a question about where my friend lives or where his brother or sister lives, and I could say, ¿de dónde vive? Not de dónde. ¿Dónde vive tu hermano? ¿Dónde vive tu hermana? Careful, yeah. ¿Dónde is where, and de dónde is like where from. So like as an origin. Okay, and next on here, I could ask if my friend's brother or sister is married. You say, ¿tu hermano es casado? Or ¿es casado tu hermano? I could switch around this syntax. Or I could use for the women a female form, like ¿es casada tu hermana? So ¿es casada tu hermana? That's frequent, I would say, is to hear the subject of the sentence kind of after the verb and the adjective. And I could say, well, yeah, yes, my brother is married, so mi hermano es casado, mi hermana es casada. So él es casado, ella es casada. So o for the masculine form, and a the feminine singular there. And I could ask whether he or she has children. So tiene tu hermano hijos, or tiene hijos tu hermano. I think that would be more frequent to hear, as I just said, like the after the subject and object, or after the verb and object, or after a verb and adjective. I would probably hear the subject. So tiene hijos tu hermano, tiene hijos tu hermana. And yeah, like mi hermano tiene dos hijos. Mi hermana tiene un hijo. So she has one son. The names of my brother and sister, and I could say, ¿Cómo se llama tu hermano? ¿Cómo se llama tu hermana? So this ¿Cómo se llama, it doesn't change. It's the same for that he or she. And I could say, se llama Jason, or se llama Caroline. And I could ask about their age, and I could say, ¿cuántos años tiene tu hermano? ¿Cuántos años tiene tu hermana? So this tu hermano, tu hermana, that's what would replace this el. If I was being very specific, like a doctor or like at immigration, something like that, they might ask something specific, like ¿qué edad tiene? So like what age? So ¿qué edad tiene tu hermano? O ¿qué edad tiene tu hermana? But mostly in conversational Spanish, it would be using cuántos años. Cuánto, like how many years is what you're literally saying, is the way of counting the age. So cuántos años tiene tu hermano? Cuántos años tiene tu hermana? Or tu hijo, tu hija. So asking like, how old is your son? How old is your daughter? and I could review my numbers. If I had a doubt about these numbers, I could go on to, let's say, word reference, and I could write here 30 or 35, 31, and I could write this here in 30, 30. So I could put that in here and say, okay, mi hermano tiene 30 años, 30 años. Or if I had some doubt on the verb tener in the conjugation, or for example, vivir, I could go on to Wiktionary.org and put in this vivir in this conjugation, and I could get the this one. It looks like, oh, that's Galician. Should be here, Spanish. Sorry. So this is yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas. This vosotros form is primarily used in Spain, but this what we've looked at so far is the kind of right now today we're looking at like he, she, it form. So far about the like I and you form, and we're now looking a bit in the third person. We'll be looking more at the third person, the plural, like they, in this plural here. So as you can see, there are changes in spelling in Spanish, which means that you can the subject is without necessarily specifying that subject. So you could say vivo, vives, vive, and vivimos, vivis, viven. So you don't have to specify the subject pronoun if it's clear from the context on there. But yeah, if you had questions about vocabulary, you could look at wordreference.com. You could look at conjugations here in Wiktionary.org. Also, Word Reference does have conjugator here for like French and Spanish. And if you had your worst case scenario, maybe Google Translate and for that. And I would also recommend using the italki notebook entries to kind of take some of these phrases, practice putting them into a description, and getting feedback from your descriptions from native speakers, and also test them out. Try to schedule a language exchange with a native speaker and practice using these phrases and asking questions about those people. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like, please leave a comment below and like, subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to comment that, and we'll continue next week with more material. And have a good day.